for my final question, it's question 7. It's our final step. What we're trying to figure out is how big do our structural supports need to be to support the load of our roof. So in this instance, we are going to use web steel joists, and it is asking us to specifically use the K-series joist, and that is the final page in your packet that shows the K-series table. Okay, so some things that we need to do. Well, actually, looking at this table, I know that, hey, I need to know my span, and then those black numbers, if you read the top of that table, it says the black numbers represent the uniform distributed load on that beam. So those are the 2 things that I need to identify for each beam. So let's get started. So beam 1. I'll go back to my diagram. So beam 1, it's an exterior beam. It has a span, so how long is it? This beam is 16 feet. And it has a uniform load that I found in question 6 of 164.5 pounds per foot. So I use those 2 numbers, go to the table. I'm going to go to the table. I'm going to do a span of 16. And then I'm going to go over and find the first number that is bigger than 164.5. So the first number bigger is my first one, which is 246. Give myself a little check. And then the last thing I figure out is what joist I'm at. So I go straight up, and the joist is an 8K1. So that's my K-series web joist. It's an 8K1, and then I also want to identify the depth. So how deep is that joist? The depth of 8 inches. Okay. I would repeat that for all of them. Okay, you do the same steps for B2, 3, and 4. This is what you end up getting. Okay, so these are your answer keys so you can check to make sure you understand how to read that table. And then the final step, what it asks in question 7, is why do you want to use these joists? So now this is where we have to kind of think like a civil engineer and a designer of this building. So you'll notice, so say I have all these different steel joists, okay? They're all at different depths. There's a few issues with that. One, I'm ordering a lot of different sizes in these steel joists. So that variability is going to cause my price to go up. As opposed to if I had one web joist and I order all of them the same size, it's going to be a lot cheaper, right? The more that you buy in quantity, the cheaper it is. So that's one issue. Another issue with the depth being different is ceiling heights. So we like our ceilings and our joists to all be the same height because one, we can then easily run all our MEP through those joists and they don't just change and things kind of move around. And then our ceiling can connect to those joists and make it level going across. So if possible, we like to have the same depth on all our joists, or at the very least kind of minimize the different depths that we have to down to 2. Okay? So what we are going to do is kind of look at this and be like, hey, B3 and B4, those are our interior joists. They're supporting the most amount of weight. They can't go down in size, right? They have to be able to support that weight. So, because they can't go down in size, B1 and B2 can always go up in size, right? They can be stronger than we need them to be, which is totally fine. So we're going to go up for B1 and B2, and we will change them so that they all have the same depth, okay? I will use the table. Let's go back. So this one is an 8K1. So it has 16 and a depth of 12. So the first one with the depth of 12 is a 12K1. Okay, so that's how I got that one. And then the second one was a 10K1. So I'm going to go, and it had a span of, I think, 20 feet. So 20 feet. It was a 10K1 right here. So my first one with a 12-inch depth was a 12K1. So So that's how I got these numbers here. So that these went up to those 12K1s, so they all of them have the same depth. And you'll notice almost all of them are 12K1 except this one is a 12K5. So I'm meeting both requirements. First requirement is that they all have the same depth. And second requirement is that you only have maximum two different joists. Okay, so I have 12K5 and a 12K1. You don't want more than two because then your prices get too expensive. Okay? So there's your final answer. And that's how to go through this activity.